My name is Nadia Brooks. For 12 years, I worked in silence to build a fitness empire, while my family thought I was just playing online. Until one day, my app was featured on national TV, revealing my $20 million success, leaving them speechless and redefining what success means. This is how I turned discipline into a quiet victory. It all started 12 years ago, in 2013. I was 23, fresh out of college with a business degree, working as an office assistant in a corporate firm in Chicago. It was a stable job, $40,000 a year, health benefits, a 401 key, the kind of job my family always wanted for me. My parents were traditional. My dad, Richard, was a high school principal, and my mum, Linda, worked as a nurse. They'd grown up in a small town where hard work meant a steady paycheck and a predictable life. They believed in the straight and narrow path: get a degree, find a secure job, climb the corporate ladder, and retire with a pension. At every family dinner, they'd say, "Nadia, stability is what matters. Don't take risks. Look at how hard we've worked to give you this life. You don't want to end up struggling like we did." I understood where they were coming from. They'd sacrificed a lot. My dad worked 2 jobs when I was a kid, and my mum picked up extra shifts to pay for my school supplies. They wanted me to have the security they never had. But I wasn't happy. I'd sit at my desk, inputting data into spreadsheets, answering emails about quarterly reports, watching the clock tick toward 5 p.m., feeling like I was wasting my life. I'd been passionate about fitness since I was a teenager. In high school, I was a competitive swimmer, waking up at 4 a.m. for practice, loving the feeling of pushing my body to its limits. In college, I ran marathons, completing my first one at 19 in just under 4 hours. Fitness wasn't just a hobby for me, it was my escape, my way of feeling alive. After a long day at the office, I'd head to the gym, lifting weights, doing yoga, or trying new HIIT routines I found online. I'd spend hours researching nutrition, learning about macros, meal prepping, and how to fuel my body for performance. I started sharing workout tips on a small blog I created during college, mostly as a way to track my own progress. I called it Nadia's Fit Notes, and it had maybe 50 followers, mostly friends and a few gym buddies. One of them, my coworker Sarah, who I dragged to spin classes after work, told me one day, "Nadia, your fitness advice is amazing. I lost 10 pounds following your meal plans, and I've never felt stronger. You should do this for real. Like, make it your job." Her words stuck with me. I started dreaming about turning my passion into a career. What if I could help people get fit, not just in my small circle, but on a bigger scale? I had an idea: an online fitness platform that offered personalized workout plans and nutrition guides tailored to each user's goals, schedule, and lifestyle. I wanted it to be accessible, something a busy mum, a college student, or a retiree could use to feel healthier. I called it Fit Journey. But I knew my family wouldn't understand. They'd see it as a reckless gamble, a childish dream that wouldn't pay the bills. My older sister Eleanor was 27 and already a successful lawyer, working at a prestigious firm downtown. My younger brother Marcus was 21, studying to be a doctor at Johns Hopkins. They were the successful ones in my parents' eyes, the ones who followed the path my parents had laid out. Meanwhile, I was the middle child, the one who needed to get serious. At a family barbecue the year before, Eleanor had said, "Nadia, you're still at that entry-level job. You should aim higher, maybe apply for a management position. You're wasting your potential." Marcus, who'd always been a bit of a know-it-all, chimed in, "Yeah, or go back to school for something practical. You're smart. You could do more than data entry." My parents didn't say much, but I could see the worry in their eyes. They'd ask questions like, "Have you thought about your future, Nadia?" "We just want you to be secure." I'd smile and nod, but inside I felt trapped. I didn't want to disappoint them, so I kept my dream to myself. I didn't tell them about the nights I spent sketching out ideas for Fit Journey, writing down features like workout trackers and meal planners, or the hours I spent reading about entrepreneurship. I knew they'd try to talk me out of it, and I wasn't ready to face that. So I stayed quiet, working on my dream in the background while pretending everything was fine. One night, after a particularly soul-crushing day at work, my boss had yelled at me in front of the team for a typo in a report calling me careless. I hit my breaking point. I went home, sat at my kitchen table in my tiny studio apartment, and stared at my laptop. I felt empty, like I was living someone else's life. I opened a blank document and typed my resignation letter. My hands were shaking as I wrote, I'm done with this 9 to 5. I'm going to build a fitness platform that changes lives. I'm giving my 2 weeks' notice, effective immediately. The next day, I handed the letter to my boss. He laughed, leaning back in his chair, and said, "Good luck with that, Nadia. You'll be back in a month when you realise how hard it is out there. The real world isn't a playground." His words stung, but they also fueled me. I didn't tell my family I quit. Instead, I told them I was working remotely to avoid their lectures. I'd say things like, "Yeah, my company's letting me do data entry from home now. It's great. They bought it," and I let them believe the lie. I had about $10,000 in savings, money I'd scraped together over 2 years, skipping vacations, eating cheap meals, and avoiding any unnecessary expenses. It was enough to cover rent and basics for a few months while I got started. I spent every waking hour building Fit Journey. I had no coding experience, so I taught myself the basics using free online tutorials on YouTube and Codecademy. I'd watch videos on HTML and CSS, pausing to try the code myself, often messing up and starting over. I'd work from 6 a.m. to midnight, fueled by coffee, cheap instant noodles, and my dream. I wrote workout plans for beginners, intermediates, and advanced users, designed meal guides for weight loss, muscle gain, and general health, and recorded short workout videos with my phone in my apartment. My first studio was my living room. I'd push my couch against the wall, set up a cheap tripod I bought for $15, and film on a second-hand yoga mat. The lighting was terrible, and my neighbour's dog would bark halfway through, but I made it work. I'd edit the videos on free software, spending hours cutting out mistakes, adding captions, and trying to make them look professional. I launched Fit Journey 6 months later, in late 2013, with a basic website and a subscription model. $10 a month for access to personalised plans. I had 20 users sign up in the first month, mostly friends and a few people who found me through my blog. I'll never forget the first email I got from a user, a single mom named Jessica, who wrote, "Nadia, your app helped me lose 15 pounds after my pregnancy. I've been so overwhelmed, but your beginner workouts fit into my schedule and I feel strong again. Thank you." Her message made me cry. It was the first time I realised I could really make a difference. But it wasn't easy. I barely made enough to cover my bills. Those 20 users brought in $200 a month, and I was spending $100 of that on website hosting and basic Google ads to get the word out. I lived frugally, cooking cheap meals like rice and beans or oatmeal with peanut butter, skipping nights out with friends and wearing the same clothes for years. I'd go to the grocery store and buy the discounted produce, the stuff that was about to go bad, just to save a few dollars. There were days I wanted to quit. I'd stare at my bank account down to $500 and think, what am I doing? Maybe my family was right. Maybe I should just go back to a real job. I'd lie awake at night, worrying about rent, wondering if I'd made a huge mistake. But then I'd get another email from a user thanking me for helping them run their first 5K or fit into their old jeans after years of struggling, and I'd keep going. Those messages were my lifeline. They reminded me why I started. I built Fit Journey through discipline, relentless, daily discipline. I'd read about successful entrepreneurs who swore by routines, so I created one for myself. Every day I followed the same schedule: wake up at 5 a.m, drink a glass of water, and do my own workout, usually a 30-minute run or a strength session with dumbbells I'd bought secondhand. Then I'd shower, make a pot of coffee, and sit down to work. I'd spend 3 hours creating content, writing new workout plans, designing meal guides, filming videos. I'd take a break for lunch, usually a quick sandwich or leftovers, and then spend 4 hours marketing on social media. I learned how to run ads on a budget, using platforms like Instagram and Pinterest to reach fitness enthusiasts. I'd post daily tips, things like 5 ways to sneak veggies into your meals, a 10-minute workout for busy moms, or how to stay motivated when you don't see results. I'd engage with every comment, every DM, building a community one person at a time. The rest of the day, I'd improve the platform, fixing bugs, adding features, responding to user emails. I'd end my day at 10 p.m, journaling 3 things I was grateful for: a new user, a kind message, a small win. Then I'd sleep and do it all again the next day. That routine kept me grounded, even when things got hard. By the end of the first year, I had 500 users, bringing in $5,000 a month. It wasn't much, but it was enough to pay my bills and keep me going. I reinvested every penny into Fit Journey, hiring a freelance developer to improve the website's user experience and a graphic designer to create a logo. A simple green leaf with Fit Journey in clean font, symbolizing growth and health. I also started a YouTube channel, posting free workout videos to attract more users. I'd film in my apartment, using a ring light I bought for $20, trying to look professional, even though I was sweating through my tank top. One video, a 20-minute HIIT workout for beginners, went viral with 100,000 views in a month. I remember refreshing the page, watching the view count climb, my heart racing. That video brought in 500 new users overnight, doubling my user base to 1,000. I cried that night, not because of the numbers, but because I knew I was onto something real. Over the next few years, I kept building, step by step. I added new features to Fit Journey: a calorie tracker that synced with your workout plan, a community forum where users could share their progress and cheer each other on, and live Q&A sessions where I'd answer fitness questions in real time. I'd get on Zoom every Wednesday night, talking to users from all over the world. Someone in Texas asking about knee-friendly workouts, a mum in Australia wanting vegan meal ideas, a student in India looking for budget-friendly protein sources. Those sessions were my favourite part. I felt like I was connecting with people, not just selling a product. I partnered with nutritionists and trainers to create more advanced plans, like postpartum recovery programs for new moms, marathon training guides for runners, and mobility exercises for seniors. By year 5 in 2018, I had 10,000 users, generating $100,000 a month. I moved out of my tiny apartment into a small house on the outskirts of Chicago, a modest 2-bedroom with a little backyard where I could grow herbs for my meals. I still lived simply. I didn't need much, but I started saving more, knowing I'd need to invest in growth. I hired a small team, a developer named Jake, who'd been one of my first users and reached out to offer his skills, a content creator named Maya, who wrote blogs and designed new workout plans, and a customer support rep named Priya, who handled user inquiries with so much kindness that people would email just to thank her. We worked remotely, and I led with the same discipline I'd always had, setting clear goals and celebrating every milestone. When we hit 50,000 users in year 8, I took my team out for pizza. Not fancy, but it felt like a big moment. I told them, this isn't just about us. It's about the 50,000 people we're helping. Let's keep going. All this time, I never told my family what I was doing. They thought I was still an office assistant, working from home on spreadsheets and reports. At family gatherings like Thanksgiving or my parents' anniversary parties, they'd ask vague questions about my job and I'd change the subject. I'd say, "Oh, work's fine. Same old, same old. How's your law firm, Elena?" My sister Elena would sigh and say, "Nadia, when are you going to get a real career? You're not getting any younger. You can't just coast forever." My brother Marcus, always the overachiever, would add, "Yeah, you should go back to school, maybe get an MBA, or at least get a job with a title, something you can be proud of." My parents didn't say much, but I could tell they were disappointed. At one Christmas dinner, my mum pulled me aside and said, "Nadia, we just want the best for you. Look at your siblings. They're making us so proud with their careers. We're worried you're not pushing yourself." My dad nodded and added, "You've always been so smart, Nadia. We don't want you to settle for less than you're capable of." I'd nod and smile, but inside, I was building something bigger than they could imagine. I didn't need their approval. I had my users, my team, and my own sense of purpose. I'd go home after those dinners, open my laptop and read emails from users. A woman who'd lost 50 pounds and felt confident for the first time. A dad who'd run a half marathon with his daughter. A retiree who'd lowered his blood pressure with my yoga routines. Those messages were my validation. I didn't need my family to understand. Not yet. By year 10 in 2023, FitJourney had 200,000 users, generating $2 million a month in revenue. I started a charity arm, offering free subscriptions to low-income families who couldn't afford the $10 fee, and donating workout equipment, like yoga mats and resistance bands, to community centres in underserved areas. I'd visit those centres sometimes, teaching free classes, meeting kids who'd never had access to fitness resources before. One little girl, maybe 8 years old, hugged me after a class and said, "Miss Nadia, I want to be strong like you when I grow up." I had to hold back tears. Moments like that reminded me why I kept going. I also launched a mobile app, making FitJourney accessible on iOS and Android, which tripled our growth. I hired more developers to ensure the app was seamless. Users could log their workouts, track their meals, and chat with others right from their phones. By year 12, in 2025, we had 1 million users worldwide, from the US to Japan to Brazil. FitJourney was valued at $20 million, and I'd become a multi-millionaire. But I still drove the same beat-up Toyota I'd had since college and wore the same sneakers I'd bought for $30 5 years ago. I didn't care about the money, I cared about the impact. I'd get emails every day from users, a dad who ran his first marathon at 50 after years of being sedentary, a teenager who overcame an eating disorder with my balanced meal plans, a grandmother who could play with her grandkids again after improving her mobility. One user, a firefighter named Tom, wrote, "Nadia, your app helped me get in shape for my job. I saved a family from a burning house last week, and I couldn't have done it without the strength I built with FitJourney. You're a lifesaver." That email made me realise the ripple effect of what I'd built. I wasn't just helping people get fit. I was helping them live better, braver lives. That's what kept me going. The reveal happened at my parents' 40th anniversary party in the summer of 2025. My whole family was there. My parents, Eleanor, Marcus, aunts, uncles, cousins. About 30 of us gathered in their backyard in the suburbs of Chicago. They decorated with string lights and a big banner that said 40 years of love, and we were all laughing, eating cake and sharing stories. My parents had a big TV set up to show old family videos, clips of us as kids playing in the backyard, opening Christmas presents. During a break, my dad switched the TV to a news channel to check the weather. That's when it happened. The anchor's voice cut through the chatter. Tonight, we're featuring an inspiring story about Nadia Brooks, the founder of Fit Journey, a fitness app that's taken the world by storm. With 1 million users and a $20 million valuation, Nadia has redefined what it means to lead a healthy life. She's here to tell us more. The camera panned to me in a pre-recorded interview I'd done the week before with a national news outlet. I'd been nervous, sitting in a studio with bright lights, but I'd spoken from the heart. Fit Journey is about more than fitness. It's about giving people the tools to live their best lives, no matter where they start. I built this for anyone who's ever felt stuck, because I know what that feels like. I started with nothing but a dream and a laptop, and now we're helping 1 million people worldwide. If I can do this, anyone can. The backyard went silent. My family stared at the screen, then at me, their mouths open. My mum dropped her fork, whispering, "Nadia, is that you? $20 million? My dad turned to me, his eyes wide, his voice barely audible. You built this all this time. Why didn't you tell us? Eleanor, who'd always been the most critical, stammered, You're a millionaire? I thought you were, I don't know, doing some little online thing. I had no idea. Marcus, who'd been scrolling on his phone, looked up and shook his head, a grin spreading across his face. I can't believe it. My sister's a fitness mogul. You've been sitting on this for 12 years. I took a deep breath, feeling everyone's eyes on me. I'd imagined this moment 1,000 times, wondering how I'd explain myself. I stood up, holding my glass of water, and said, I didn't tell you because I didn't need you to believe in me. I needed to believe in myself. For 12 years, I worked every single day to build Fit Journey. I woke up at 5 a.m., wrote workout plans, filmed videos, answered emails, and reinvested every penny I made. It wasn't about the money, it was about helping people. I've helped 1 million people live healthier lives, and I've done it on my own terms. I didn't need to prove anything to anyone. But I'm glad you know now. The rest of the night was a blur. My family kept asking questions. How did you do it? When did this happen? Why didn't you say anything? My cousins pulled out their phones, downloading the Fit Journey app right there, saying things like, Nadia, this is so cool. I had no idea you were behind this. My aunts and uncles bombarded me with questions about how I managed to grow it so big. And I explained my routine, the years of hard work, the small steps that added up. My parents hugged me, tears in their eyes, saying, We're so proud of you, Nadia. We had no idea what you were capable of. Elena pulled me aside later, her voice softer than I'd ever heard it. Nadia, I'm sorry if I ever made you feel like you weren't enough. I was wrong. I thought I knew what success looked like, but you've shown me something different. I'm really proud of you. I smiled and hugged her, saying, Oh, it's okay, Eleanor. I needed to figure that out for myself first. I'm glad you see it now. Marcus, always the practical one, laughed and said, "You've inspired me, Nadia. I've been thinking about starting a side project. Maybe a medical app for patients. Can you give me some advice?" I laughed and nodded. "Of course, Marcus. Just start small, stay consistent, and don't give up. That's all it takes." That moment changed things. My family started seeing success differently, not just as a fancy degree or a corner office, but as the impact you make, the lives you touch. My parents started telling their friends about Fit Journey, bragging about their daughter, the fitness entrepreneur. My mum even joined the app, following my beginner yoga plan, and called me one day to say, "Nadia, I can touch my toes again. I haven't been able to do that in years." My dad, who'd always been skeptical of technology, downloaded the app too, using my walking plans to improve his stamina. Seeing them engage with Fit Journey meant more to me than any award or valuation. It felt like they finally understood me. Today, Fit Journey is still growing. We've expanded into mental health, offering guided meditations and stress relief programs, because I believe fitness isn't just physical, it's emotional too. We're working on a feature for kids, with fun workouts and games to make fitness a habit from a young age. I've hired a team of 50 people now, and we're a family, celebrating birthdays, supporting each other through tough times, and always putting our users first. I've started mentoring young entrepreneurs, especially women, sharing the habits that got me here: discipline, consistency, and believing in your vision even when no one else does. At a recent conference, a young woman named Aaliyah came up to me after my talk. She said, "Nadia, I've been too scared to start my own business. I didn't think I could do it. But hearing how you built Fit Journey step by step makes me believe I can try." I told her, "Aaliyah, you're stronger than you think. Start small, stay disciplined, and don't let anyone tell you what you're capable of. Not even yourself." I bought my parents a vacation home in Florida as a thank you for their love, even if they didn't understand my path at first. It's a cozy beach house with a view of the ocean, a place they'd always dreamed of retiring to. My dad planted a little garden there, and my mum hung a photo of me from the news interview on the wall. I still live simply. I don't need much. But I found a deeper kind of wealth. The emails from users who say I've changed their lives, the team I've built, the legacy I'm creating. I still wake up at 5 a.m. every day, do my workout, and journal my gratitude. Some things never change. I worked in silence for 12 years, not because I wanted to hide, but because I wanted to build something real, something that mattered. When my family finally saw my success, it wasn't about proving them wrong. It was about showing them what's possible when you follow your passion with discipline. I redefined success for myself, and in doing so, I redefined it for them too. I've helped 1 million people live healthier, happier lives, and I'm just getting started. That's the greatest victory I could ask for.